Well, I'm here with Matt Mello, VP of Sales for the Americas for AI Media, talking about their new LEXI Voice solution, which is going to enable broadcasters to put content in new places, in new languages. Matt, tell us a little bit more about LEXI Voice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to. I'm really excited to talk about LEXI Voice because it is such a natural addition to our existing product ecosystem that I think it's going to be a natural fit for a lot of our broadcast partners and some of our other enterprise customers. We're going to essentially be adding live voice translations into an existing captioning ecosystem, which I think is really huge for a lot of people and opens up a lot of doors.
And in terms of the product, walk me through how you were able to create it and what it's going to enable for broadcasters.
The ability to not just meet federal mandates for closed captioning accessibility, but now you can actually monetize the fact that you can add different languages to the same content that you're already producing. So if you're already using this system, there's very little that you'd actually have to add to do. Let's say you're doing an English newscast, you can easily make that a Spanish newscast just simply by adding LEXI Voice and have that all same in the same production world. So it is very easy to set up and get going with. So that's I think the biggest aspect is that the very little that you need to do to actually get this up and running.
I mean, as broadcasters are looking to take their content to new markets, this kind of localization of content allows them to unlock new revenue streams, put their content in front of new audiences.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's definitely one of the biggest pieces of this, right? Is that you can take content that might be specifically made for one region and with one language and bring it to a different region. So obviously in the US, we're very focused on expansion to Latin America and Canada. Being able to provide the correct languages for broadcasters and have that just be a quick way of adding a new market to the same content. Again, you're already producing the content, you're already spending the money making it. It's a very low cost to add additional languages now, which means that you can produce it into new markets. So huge opportunity for monetization and content in new regions.
So under the hood, kind of talk a little bit about how this is connected and how it's going to be an easy setup for broadcasters.
Yeah, so I mean, under the hood, it's really a connection into our existing iCap platform, as well as our LEXI automatic captioning and LEXI translate service. So effectively, if you're piecing all these three things together, it's effectively just reading out the captions in the translated language, which means that you're going to have high accuracy because all of these systems have been in place, they've been tested, they've been used for many years now, and we're now at a point where we're very comfortable with the accuracy ranges that the translations are providing as well. So now you'll have very high accuracy translated captions, and as well as translations and synthetic voice on top of it. So it's really packaging another layer onto an existing workflow that you're already using. So under the hood, very straightforward. Yeah.
So when you're thinking about the perfect market for this solution, obviously sports, live production, you mentioned news comes to mind. How do you see this integrating in?
Yeah, so for news, I mean that's a very applicable use case for this, right? So I'm picturing someone like Telemundo, who has broadcast stations all over the U.S. They broadcast their content primarily in Spanish, but there's also situations where they might want to have that content available in English for the same market. So very easily just flipping a switch on this, you can now have your content available in Spanish for your Spanish speaking audience, and then for English for your English speaking audience, which we actually had a customer do for translated captions very recently, and they were very happy with the results. So effectively, what this is adding is the ability to just read those captions out. And then by doing that, you're not only doing a service for your deaf and hard of hearing community, but also any language outside of the natural program language too. So that's one use case is news. I think for us, the next use case that we'd be looking at is for sports, right? The big one is sports, keeping broadcast alive. Very much looking for the most ways to monetize the content again that they're already producing. So much money is being poured into sports production right now, with very little going into actually making it regionalized appropriately. Using MLB as an example here, very big audience in Japan recently with some Japanese players coming in. And to be able to actually broadcast that in Japan right now would be very expensive to have an additional Japanese language available for viewers. So what this LEXI voice service enables is the ability to, they already use LEXI for their automatic captioning, so they can take that and very simply add on additional language tracks. And then they can have the same content that's sent out into Japan and then have open up that audience immediately. So I think it's very, very crucial for sports broadcasters in particular who want to be able to take their content and move it into different parts of the world and be able to spend not a fortune doing so. So I think that's what we enable here. Also high accuracy, like I said before, we're seeing ranges of 96, 97, 98% accuracy on the translation itself too. So that applies to the voice also.
Well, you took the next question right out of my head. I was going to ask you about broadcasters' comfort with the accuracy level, but it sounds like this solution is already performing at those levels you'd expect. So what else would a potential client or potential broadcaster need to know about this?
I mean, so it's really important to understand like this has been possible before, right? Like people have done this with human translators just because of the need, but that's extremely expensive, right? Like being able to do this at scale on a live basis is extremely costly if it's even doable at all. So what this enables is to be able to do that at scale and make sure that you're not spending a fortune doing so. So the cost is going to be completely reasonable for what it enables in terms of what you can monetize, how you can now monetize that same content. So I think that's a huge thing to understand when you're looking at this product and kind of evaluating if it's going to fit into your workflow. What you're doing is to know that it is a very cost effective way to do live voice translations.
So at this year's NAB show, where can folks learn more about AI media and the new LEXI Voice?
Yeah, so we're going to be demoing this at NAB this year. We're going to be at booth W1915 in the West Hall. Definitely come check it out. We're going to have a couple of different demo sessions where you can actually come by and be doing presentations, and you can listen on headphones of the translated languages in real time. So definitely stop by if you're interested in this.
Well, thanks for filling us in, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Dak. Appreciate you having me here.